What's up everyone, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Boston Beer Company, aka Samuel Adams, and they're headquartered in Boston, Massachusetts, and this is their Old Fezziwig Ale, the 2023 release. So they are calling this one an ale brewed with cinnamon, ginger, and orange peel. It comes in at 5.9% alcohol by volume, 25 IBUs at the time I'll review. This bottle is just over 6 weeks old, and it also has a best by date of April 2024, so we should be more than okay. Now, this is the rare re-review here on the Beer Patrol. I don't re-review a lot of beers unless the recipe changes from year to year. I reviewed this one back in 2019. It was the 2019 release, and it underwhelmed me, which really sucked, to be blunt. It just sucked because this is one of my favorite seasonal beers from Sam Adams, and I would specifically buy their mixed winter pack. They used to call it the Winter Classics. Now it's called Beers for Cheers. I would buy that pack specifically for this and their honey porter. I'd get 2 of each. I'd be so happy. One year I found it on tap and drank an entire growler of it. And yeah, this was just always a beer that I really enjoyed from Sam Adams. However, the 2019 release just didn't do it for me. Now, when it comes to Sam Adams, to me, there's not a lot of batch variation. Most of their beers are very consistent. However, it didn't do it for me back in 2019. Last year, I bought the Beers for Cheers pack. I reviewed some of the beers from that pack. I did not re-review this, but let me tell you, last year, I thoroughly enjoyed this one again. So I don't know if it was my palate, I don't know if it was batch variation, I don't know what the case may be, but I wanted to re-review this one this year to see if it's just as good as I remember it. I also wanted to review this one because, if you don't know, they released this one in 6-packs this year. Sam Adams fans have been clamoring for years, put this in 6-packs, please. I just want to buy 6-packs of this beer, and they finally did it. So I bought a single bottle, and a lot of the places around here no longer have the 6-packs of Old Fezziwig. It's just, they're gone. So I hope they do this from this point going forward, because I know a lot of people who just love this beer specifically be able to get 6-packs of it. That's awesome, and they should definitely keep on doing it. Anyway, let me crack this one open, get in the glass. Now, as far as this beer is concerned, I always think it's like a gingerbread cookie slash ginger snap cookie slash molasses cookie that is kind of melded together with a fruitcake. That's what I always got out of this beer, except for 2019 where I didn't. Hashtag proper glassware to some extent. But yeah, man, I'm hoping this is just as good as the couple bottles I had last year and the ones that I had prior to 2019, because I just don't know. Okay. I think we're back on the right track. Now, I don't think this is an amazing beer. Typically, most years I give this like a 4 out of 5. But again, it's one of my favorite Sam Adams seasonals, and it just, the nostalgia factor for me is very heavy. So in the Sam Adams A Perfect Pint glass, I would say that looks like a perfect pint of beer. But so you can see the actual color. Yeah, it has this like ruby kind of, it's like a bronze color, like a deep amber. There's some ruby red tones in there. Good clarity, even though it is a darker beer. A finger of a beautifully tan colored head. Looks somewhat creamy, somewhat soap sudsy. Good carbonation. This has the etching in the bottom, the nucleation that promotes the carbonation. So yeah, it looks absolutely, like, again, in the perfect pint glass, it looks fantastic, in my opinion. Let's get a nose. Yeah, so this has they have a little spiel here on the back. I read it in the 2019. We'll read it again. It says, because I've had this beer so many times before. It says, like the character that inspired it, this spiced ale is warm, festive, and worthy of a celebration all its own. Its full body accompanies, now full body maybe for a 5.9% beer, we'll get to that. But it says its full body accompanies a deep malt character, yes, with notes of sweet toffee and rich dark caramel. Yeah, I always get that, right? I always get the good maltiness from this beer. It's the spices that really pull this one together for me most years. So in the nose, yeah, there's a lot of caramel, toffee, molasses. It's that deep caramelized sugar, maybe even a touch of brown sugar. But then there is a nice blend of like a cinnamon, a ginger. They say orange. It has like a little bit of a zesty kind of like orange. They say orange peel. I don't know if it's sweet or just a regular orange peel. But yeah, it definitely has, again, a gingerbread cookie, a ginger snap cookie with a little bit of dark fruit in there. So it gives me fruitcake vibes. It's really just nice. Touch of vanilla as well. it's something that I don't always mention with this because I always get the character, but I sometimes don't mention is has this nice toasted malt character too. Nice toasty. Not quite roasted, but more toasted. Yeah, this smells substantially better in 2019, and I thought the 2019 aroma was pretty good, but the taste was a bit of a letdown. So this smells better than the 2019, very akin to what I remember last year. So I'm just hoping the taste, please be as good as I remember you, please. Anyway, cheers everyone. Yeah, I think this is, oh yeah. Yes, this is back. Maybe something was wrong with my palate in 2019, because I don't remember anybody saying when I reviewed in 2019, like, oh yeah, no, it's totally different this year. No one said that, right? I mentioned this in the Sierra Nevada Celebration ale review I did this year, or they call it Fresh Hop IPA. They used to call it just Celebration Ale. That is a beer that most years everyone's just like, yeah, no, it's delicious. There's no batch variation. No, it wasn't, the 2017 was better than, no one says that. It's like just every year is good. And that's kind of what Old Fezziwig was. If people had it each year, they're just like, yeah, this is what this beer is. For me, 2019 was not this beer. Now, they say full bodied. If you're talking about full bodied for just a sub 6% beer, 5.9, yeah. This is like medium, a touch over medium. It has a nice heft to it, but it's not bogging down the palate, so it's still light on its feet to some degree. The mouthfeel, it has a smooth, slightly creamy sensation, but there is a good moderate carbonation kind of dancing on the tongue. It's pretty crisp. So body mouthfeel, really nice. The taste to me reminds me of what this beer always used to be for me. Again, I think I had this for the first time somewhere around 2010, 2011, and I would have it pretty much almost every year up until 2019. And this is just what I remember it being. It's, again, a marriage of some kind of holiday cookie, more of like a gingerbread cookie or maybe a molasses cookie that married a fruitcake. That's kind of where it lands for me. Right front, toasted malt. It has caramel, it has toffee. It's even like a little bit of like a baker's chocolate, make a cocoa powder, like an unsweetened cocoa powder. There's molasses as well. But as it continues on, I get more of a fruity note. It has like this slight cherry, it's more dark fruits, so like a dark cherry to some degree. Yeah, like a dark cherry. And then the spice hits about 2/3 of the way through the palate. I get hit with cinnamon and ginger in that order. It has like that cinnamon dryness that carries on to the back. So this one finishes semi to full on dry. Very mild bitterness, not much bitterness to speak of, but it has that perceived kind of cinnamon dryness. The ginger's there, so it gives me, again, that gingerbread cookie, that molasses cookie, the ginger snap cookie, something in that realm. While it doesn't have a lot of bitterness, this is also not too sweet for me. It's not cloying or anything. The dryness does its job. 5.9%. You can tell it's, probably in the 6% range, but it's not boozy or anything. You don't expect a beer like this. It's just, this is a nice sipping beer. You want to drink 2 or 3 of these sitting down. If you're in a colder weather city like I am by the fire, or just curling up on the couch with a blanket and a couple bottles of this, or maybe an entire 6-pack if you're getting real crazy, and just enjoying it. And that's what this beer is. And maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it just hit me in the feels right now, but I think I'm enjoying this more than prior years. I don't know, it's because maybe they ramped up production, put it in 6-packs, maybe they didn't. I have no idea. I just think this is very well executed and exactly how I remember it being. I'm so happy I re-reviewed this one, because I don't re-review a lot of beers. And maybe I should, especially if I have a really bad experience or maybe a really great experience, just to see. I don't know what happened in 2019, but that beer was not anywhere. I mean, it was decent. I gave it like a 3.65, but it wasn't anywhere near the quality that I expected from this beer, going into that review. And now this year is just like how I remember it. Last year, I think I like this one quite a bit more. I'm going to bump up the rating. So I'm going to give Samuel Adams Old Fezziwig Ale. They don't call it Old Fezziwig. They just say Old Fezziwig Ale. They call it just Old Fezziwig. Always was called Old Fezziwig Ale, and then now it's just Old Fezziwig. But I'm going to call this one Old Fezziwig Ale because I'm old school, not really. But I'm going to give the 2023 release of this. I'm going to give this a, we're going to go low 4.25 and go 4.15. This is just, yeah, it's a half a point better than the 2019. And this is, typically, like I said, I give this a 4 out of 5 most years. This is like usually my favorite. This and the Honey Porter, sometimes the Chocolate Bock. But I feel for me, this beer right here is just something that I thoroughly enjoy, and I'm glad it's in 6-packs. If I can find a 6-pack, maybe I have to track it down so I have it throughout the winter, because it's just a really well-made beer. And when you factor in the price and availability, it's great. So I think the price point here in my neck of the woods is $10.99 a 6-pack. You probably can find anywhere from like $10 to $12 a 6-pack. if you can find 6-packs, that is. If you want to get in the Winter Classics mixed 12-pack, or see, old school, I'm thinking Winter Classics, the Beer is for Cheers mixed Winter Variety Pack, or just Variety Pack. If you want to buy it there, I think those are typically, depending again where you are, anywhere from like $17 to $20, maybe even a little bit more at this point, and you only get 2 of them. You only get 2 of them unless you buy the ones at like Costco or Sam's Club or a place like that, where I think you can get the 20, you can get the entire case, or maybe it's like 28 beers and you get like 4 or 5 of them. Outside of that, just buy a 6-pack of this if you can find it, if you like this beer. And yeah, availability. It's Sam Adams. It's wintertime, almost wintertime. So you should be able to find this one if you live in the US, especially in any decently sized city. You should be able to find this beer in their Beers for Cheers, or maybe a 6-pack of it. So this is where I always ask, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But in the comment section, post about this beer, please. Let me know what you think about this beer. Did you think there was a dip in quality at some point? Maybe it wasn't 2019. Maybe you bought this in 2020 or 2021 or 2016 or whatever and said, hey, it's not as good as I remembered. Or was my palate just broken in 2019? It could have been when I reviewed this one. Maybe I just wasn't feeling it that day. Regardless, did you have it this year? Did you have it last year? Do you think they're back on track with the quality? Because what's in my glass right now is exactly what I remember this beer being, and I could not be happier. And this is the first holiday-themed beer I'm reviewing for the month of December 2023, and I am so happy that it hit the nail on the head for what I was hoping for out of this beer. So I appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Don't do a lot of re-reviews, but in this case, I'm so happy I did, and appreciate everybody stopping by. Till the next one. Cheers.